Hello, this is Eric Muss-Barnes, and this is my second novel, which was published in 2013 and is entitled Annwn's Maelstrom Festival. It is the concluding volume of a duology called The Vampire Noctuaries. The beginning volume is called The Gothic Rainbow. Now, if you're watching this video, I'm going to presume that you have probably already read The Gothic Rainbow. Now, originally, that book was intended to be a single volume. During the course of writing it, I slowly began to realize that this was turning into an 800, 900-page epic, and I simply didn't want my first novel to be that huge. Therefore, I picked a point where I could sort of stop the story with the intention of continuing it at a later date. Hence, the Vampire Noctuaries were born. This book is available in whatever format you choose. If you like to collect hardcover books, it is available in a nice, sturdy hardcover. If instead you like to get paperbacks, you can also purchase it in a paperback form. Now, in addition to hardcovers and paperbacks, you can also purchase an ebook if you like to read it, say, on a Kindle, or maybe on a Barnes & Noble Nook, or if you would like to get it on your iPad or a Kobo, whatever you want, it is available in all electronic forms. Now, in the back of the book, whether you get it in paper or electronically, you'll find these images, which are part of a poster catalog. Now, if you go to the website shown on the screen, you'll see a link that says Buy Posters, and you can purchase any of these images in almost any size you can imagine, from small little postcards on up to great big movie posters. If you happen to have the book electronically on a full-color device, such as a Kindle Fire, the poster catalog has the images in full color. Now, the whole point of these images is to sort of reflect the mood and the tone and the emotional context of the story. They're not intended to reflect specific scenes from the book. They're just meant to evoke certain emotions to kind of get you in the right mindset of what the entire story of the Vampire Noctuaries feels like, into that kind of moody, dark, mystical realm within which the story takes place. This is an excerpt from Annwn's Maelstrom Festival. 5 teenagers snuck into the cemetery for a midnight scare, up to no good and looking for trouble. My lover and I were happy to oblige. No mortal could have heard them from where we were. Hundreds of feet away, we turned to the shadow slip and flowed down the hillside like so much sinister smoke and shade. The laughter of the children faded as we approached. Mortal dread stirred them to silence. They could feel our presence. Something wasn't right. Something was watching them from the trees. Something that wasn't supposed to be real. Something that the collective unconscious of all humans had come to fear over thousands of generations. Something their primal hearts?
Well, here's something their primal hearts. Now I'm reading it like I'm from. It's the redneck version of the Vampire Noctuaries.
Let me read that over. Something their primal hearts all knew existed, but never dared to admit. My love still the shadow, I the white wolf. Listen, one of the girls said to her friends. Straining, they looked in our direction. Out of the dark we emerged, Elric bursting forth in a billowing wave of black horror.
Run.
His voice boomed while still a shadow. The teens screamed and cursed, flying as fast as mortal feet would carry them through the thick snowdrifts, over gravestones, up hillsides, between trees, clamoring, panicking, shrieking, shouting. As the wolf, I towered by Elric's side, fur pure as the driven snow surrounding us, ready to hunt. his dark hand cool under the scruff of my neck, my fangs bared, ready for the kill, for the passion of dirt and leaf underfoot, and my paws to tear into the earth, and nature herself does quiver at the power of my gait.
Patience, my darling,
Elric commanded. Yes, my beloved, to give chase too quickly robs me of the pleasure of the hunt. Best to give them a head start, give them hope. For it is by the murder of their prayers of salvation that the greatest pleasure of their demise is relished. Allow them to think they have a chance, only to discover no god will protect them from my fury. My muscles pulsed under my fur. I was ready. Elric sensed my eagerness. He dug his hand into my neck, holding me back for a moment.
patience.
He repeated. The children had gotten further away. 3 up the hill towards Garfield Monument, and 2 down the valley towards Wade Chapel. Impatiently, I growled and looked at my husband once more. Slowly he grinned.
Hunt.
And so to the hunt in the fever of snow, the scent of bark on winter-dead trees and the crush of leaves under ice. How the children do clamor and cry, struggling to run up the hillsides, weaving around shrubs and brambles and panting among tombstones. The trail through the snow led up to the Rockefeller obelisk. I approached in silence. The ice of a snowman with a ballerina's soul. What was that? One boy whispered to another. Hidden behind the white marble, breath steaming on chill wind. Shut up, it'll hear you, another scolded, his breath fogging on the cold night air even more. Where's Jenna and Madeline? The third boy asked, in the quietest whisper of all. There are those who have forgot the magic, both light and dark. Them that forget live in their fancy houses and towering high-rises, surrounded day and night by steel and concrete and glass and carpet and all manner of things which will be help. God, that was a good sentence too. That was a good one. Let me start that one again. Them that forget live in their fancy houses and towering high-rises, surrounded day and night by steel and concrete and glass and carpet and all manner of things which be helping shield them from the remembering. Were they to step into the underbrush and find the scent of rain and honeysuckle in their nostrils, to feel the mosses and cool stone of woodland boulders beneath their fingertips, to taste the spring fresh water of a stream across parched lips, to hear snow crunch under bare feet and soles toughen to the icy cold, there would they start to remember that the magic lives far beyond the asphalt and automobiles within which they have encased themselves from the true nature of the world. For magic, you see, is the true nature of the world. All the islands of concrete and steel are in a minuscule oasis in the vast expanse of the dreaming wold. Living without magic is the illusion, for magic can never be denied. Thus does the presence of my Siabra soul remind them, dragging them back into the dark forest. Something old, something primal, something they know is real despite all the denial they build around themselves, to sever their minds from knowing the magic. Minds young and naive as toddlers, for they are sons of sons who have forgotten and forgotten more still, and none have ever taught them the true nature of our night wind. When one returns to the heart of magic, the remember time gets easy. Living in artificial landscapes of steel mountains and brick rivers and office buildings, people forget the magic ways. They replace the bonfire glow of mystic storytelling and tribal dance with television glows and spiritless visions. In the confines of their magic-starved rooms, they begin to believe crazy thoughts, like denying the magic exists at all. Snow began to fall, and dissolved out of a snowflake fog I appeared. Towering and hell-flame eyes, I snarled. Frozen with shock, one boy shook his head. Can't be, it can't be real. Leaping towards him, I ripped out his throat in a single bite. As his friend screamed, my massive paw pinned him to the ground, cracking his ribs as I crushed his corpse into the snow. The blood I drank deep in honeydew. Spiced of fear and terror, it gushed warm down my throat, and matted fur perfumed. The third boy ran away in tears and horror. I could have let him go, so he'd always have a story to tell which none would ever believe. Instead, I followed silently. He frantically ran over gates and lost his footing in the dark, twisting an ankle on a tombstone over and over again. Patches of ice on the roadway, buried headstones under snow, all served to trip him up as he fled like a terrified child. No easy feat, he scaled the cemetery fence next to the Mayfield Road gates. Had it not been fleeing for his life, I doubt he would have had the fortitude to achieve such a stunt. Crying and delirious with horror, he ran to his car, which had been parked on Kenilworth, and fumbled for his keys, shaking like an electroshock patient. Returning to human form, I stepped from the shadows.
"Don't be afraid,"
I said calmly. The boy yelled out, then collapsed against his car. He still hadn't managed to find the correct key to open the door since he was shuddering so badly. He sighed. I thought you were something else."
"Oh?"
I asked calmly.
"What did you think I might be?"
Looking both confused and embarrassed, the boy said nothing. His mind was still in denial, reeling over the fact that he had just seen a giant white werewolf murder his friends. None of this could truly be happening. Could it? I don't... His voice trailed off. He began looking over his shoulders again, expecting the wolf to jump out from behind another car or some bushes or one of the nearby apartment alleyways.
"When I was a little girl,"
I told him.
"I often practiced dream control. I became quite good at it, too. Read many books on the subject.
My canines grew long.
Many cultures teach that during a nightmare, one should summon dream friends to assist in defending whatever is pursuing you."
He looked at me, scared and confused. He didn't say a word, his mind unable to understand what was happening. I giggled.
Now, had this been a dream, this would have been the perfect time for you to ask for help.
Obviously, he hadn't read the books. I stared into the distance behind him.
"Hey,"
I said, squinting and pointing.
"what is that?"
He spun around in a flash, intently surveying the snowy road. While his back was turned to me, I again transformed into the form of the white wolf. "What?" the boy said in a panic. "What did you see? Where was it? Is it still after me?" When he turned back towards me, the scream caught in his throat, and although his mouth was open to shout, nothing more than a squeal came out of his lips. As the wolf, I stood before him again. I fed and savored the cream that fear gives to the blood of dying boys. I would like to thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video, and be sure to check out some of my other books as well.